welcome to Bangkok's Suvarnabhumi Airport, where today I'm flying to Singapore, but not the way you'd expect. I'm travelling aboard Gulf Air's Boeing 787 Dreamliner in their Falcon Gold business class, from Bangkok all the way across to Bahrain, then back down to Singapore, all for less than £250. No points, no hacks, just a straight up aerofare that, unfortunately, is long gone. Here's my verdict. Thanks for joining, and if you're new here, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe and make a comment. I appreciate every single message, even those which are more negative. You've joined me just as I'm heading through the departure hall to find my check-in desk, which probably took all of 5 minutes to eventually find. Check-in for this Gulf Air flight was super busy and not particularly organised. I had no luggage, owing to it being stuck in Europe from my previous Qatar Airways flight, which you can watch just up there. So I was quickly through the process and heading straight to the premium immigration desks. Bangkok Suvarnabhumi is a huge airport consisting of 5 primary international wings, C, D, E, F and G, 2 additional wings A and B for domestic services. In late 2023, the airport opened its automated people mover to connect to the new satellite terminal for international flight capacity expansion. While it's currently only used by a couple of airlines, Emirates and Qatar Airways expected to move over here along with their lounges in the near future. Gulf Air provides access to the mediocre Miracle Lounge at the D wing of the airport. I had priority pass access, so checked out the far superior Turkish Airlines, Oman Air and Air France KLM lounges instead. Our flight today departs from gate E3, right near the Oman Air lounge. Once I finished my lounge safari, I did a little shopping and encountered this rather high-tech robot cleaner. Just a quick note from me, this video consists of footage from both my Bangkok to Bahrain and Bahrain to Singapore flights, simply because there wasn't enough differentiation for 2 distinct videos. If there's anything important relating to either flight, I'll call it out specifically for you. And here it is, the Gulf Air Dreamliner in a special 70th anniversary livery, albeit the airline is a very different beast to the multinational airline it started as. Boarding was relatively smooth, beyond numerous people wishing to jump the queue from economy to business. These glass jet bridges look absolutely excellent, although after this I seemed to drop my camera in my bag, meaning some pretty bad quality on the way to my seat, which I'll spare you from seeing. And here's the seat, a smart looking window seat with dedicated aisle access despite being in a 2-2-2 setup. The airline have gone for a classy looking colour scheme with charcoal coloured seats alongside brown and gold accents, a far cry from the gaudy Emirates design. And today we have a beautiful wing view from our seat. While I settled in, the crew brought over a glass of 2017 Duval de Roy champagne as I explored some of the seat's features, including the large but distant display and a phone-like remote control. While boarding was slightly delayed, I headed to explore the bathroom, which is nothing special and featured their own brand of moisturiser. More interesting is the inclusion of a Japanese-style bidet toilet, which you don't see on many airlines, something I would welcome not just on planes, but pretty much anywhere in life. As a much more direct Singapore Airlines flight pulled in next to us, the crew brought over a hot towel, which I've since learned isn't particularly clean, alongside a cup of Arabic coffee and a date, plus a pair of pyjamas all in quick succession. Since the delay was still ongoing, I headed back to the toilet to put on the pyjamas and get a bit more comfy. These aren't the highest quality, but were long enough and are a premium touch when many competitors, including Qatar or Emirates, are not offering them on a flight of this length and a departure time in the afternoon. A well-stocked amenity kit was at every seat upon boarding, featuring the usual set of amenities and a few extra like cologne that you wouldn't expect. The kit is nice enough and has the Bahraini touch with the famous sides of the front and the Gulf Air logo, which is also embossed directly onto the seatbelt. One major issue with this seat though is storage. There's just simply not enough adequate places to store things such as your shoes. The only real storage is this little slot next to the seat, which is long but not particularly deep. 2 USB ports and 1 international power outlet can also be found here. Opposite is a small literature pocket for the safety card. Above this are some basic buttons which have preset seat positions and to raise and lower the excellent privacy divider which cocoons you into a space of sanctuary, at least in the window seats. Onto the seat itself and you have a headrest which is adjustable, but it doesn't bend around too much. Opposite is the footrest ottoman with no cubby, making for infinite room to move your legs around. More custom control buttons for the seat are in the armrest, which isn't the best position, but allows you to extend the seat into 220 centimeters of fully flat space, albeit not being the widest around. As somebody who's around 188 centimeters or 6 foot tall, this is really appreciated and is easily one of the most comfortable seats in terms of space available. The airline also provides a duvet-style blanket and seat cover. It was soon time for some food, which is probably my least favourite part of this flight. Starting with a positive, you have a huge tray table which swivels around, making it possible to leave your seat to use the bathroom during meal service. We begin with some warmed nuts served in a ramekin, a good start. This is followed by stuffed peppers and garden salad for starter. It was middle of the road okay, but certainly nothing to shout about. The main theme throughout Gulf Air's meal service is the lack of presentation standard. It's a minor thing that separates an okay or good airline from being the best of the best. For main, I opted for a biryani with prawn curry and mixed vegetables. Again, the plating wasn't great and did resemble canteen slop, but the taste was actually very good, and certainly biryanis are flavourful on pretty much all Middle Eastern airlines that I've tried them on, and the taste is generally maintained even at these altitudes. Finally, for dessert, I had the flavourless mango sticky rice alongside a coffee, which is a shame considering how amazing the dish is on the ground in Thailand. In all, it was a mixed bag, but the airline could do with improving presentation standards. You might expect food from Gulf Air's hub in Bahrain to be a little better. On my flight to Singapore, where they served breakfast at 1 PM Singapore time, something that always irritates me, the quality wasn't far better. It began with a decent sized fruit plate that looked far better than it tasted, followed by 2 long life pastries, not the best start. For the breakfast main, there was some slightly soggy pancakes with jam, again not particularly good. This is a so-called cappuccino which was poor and an insult to the nation of Italy.
That is a disgrace.
Back to my first flight, I kicked back to watch the Inflight Entertainment. An excellent and intuitive remote can be found on the armrest to interact with the screen, although the screen itself is touch enabled despite the distance from the seat. Slightly concerningly, the remote does get unusually hot, something I'm surprised it got past the seat designers during development. This was the case on both my flights and something I've read elsewhere. The selection of content was very good and reflective of the airline's route network, with English, Arabic, Tagalog and other Southeast Asian language content available. There is also an interactive map which can be watched on the remote while watching something else on the main display. Decent but not excellent noise cancelling headphones are available at the seat after boarding. Soon enough, the 6-hour hop to Bahrain was over and we came into land at Bahrain International Airport, and I'm really sorry for the poor video quality as we arrived. I had 24 hours in Bahrain, where I did just about all of the main sites, plus some camels and the famous Tree of Life, plus this random ice cream van. Like many other Middle Eastern cities, I wouldn't be back in a hurry. One day after arriving, I headed back to the airport for my Singapore flight. While I won't be covering this whole flight, I did want to cover this stunning facility. At the far right end of the terminal is a dedicated Falcon Gold business class facility, which is extremely convenient. I was served fast and there was a seat for people to sit at. While it's not as luxurious as Qatar's first class check-in at Doha, it is very decent. Even better, there's a dedicated border check and security queue for Falcon Gold passengers. Straight after security and up a pair of escalators is the Gulf Air Business Class Lounge, which at the entrance is a little underwhelming. However, it opens up into a large space that completely surpassed expectations. We begin with a business centre and a selection of stylish seating that is good for both individuals, families and groups. To the right, the lounge extends to have this weird multi-screen but single TV channel viewing area. This continues onto an extensive self-serve buffet area, as well as a fresh baked-to-order pizzeria, and for dessert, who doesn't want ice cream? This is excellent and some of the best lounge food I've had across the globe. The lounge is bigger than this, including gaming areas, but you can read all of that and find out more in my full review at the website callumwilson.com. The only letdown? These strangely under-spec'd shower rooms. They were clean and did the job after a full day of exploring in Bahrain, but they do look a bit sad. I spent about 3 hours at this lounge and would recommend you do too, as well as go explore the rest of this compact but beautiful airport. So, what was my verdict on Gulf Air, and how did I get this flight for such a cheap price? Gulf Air operate Fifth Freedom flights between Bangkok and Singapore. These are flights which are allowed to carry passengers exclusively between two countries that are different from the airline's home country, i.e. Bahrain for Gulf Air. The issue for Gulf Air is that the booking system for a couple of months back in 2022 was pricing Bangkok to Singapore via Bahrain, a total of around 13 hours worth of flights, for the same price as a 2-hour hop from Bangkok to Singapore. This was a clear error there, but the airline left it up for a number of weeks back in 2022, for months worth of availability. Now, if you want to try out Gulf Air for a lower price, you can still fly this Fifth Freedom flight between Bangkok and Singapore, or vice versa, for about £100 to £200. Now, what was my verdict on Gulf Air? Firstly, I should preface this by the fact my opinion could be swayed by this whole cheap fare. However, something that is unchanged is that the seat and hard product is excellent, easily my favourite in the business. Yes, it could do with being a tad wider, but I would take the almost endless legroom any day. It is comfy and I managed to get a very good sleep on my Singapore night flight. The lounge in Bahrain is almost excellent, bar them extremely poor showers. Crew were okay across the board, but not quite to the level of Qatar Airways or Etihad Airways, for a fact. Food on board was the letdown of the overall experience. Not awful by any means, but if they could get it close to the quality of that at the lounge, that would take it up a real notch. And in the presentation, it really just needs to be better and make a more differentiated plate design, cutlery design, rather than current generic style, and better training for the crew serving it. Would I fly again? No. My biggest issue is the fact that you could get a better experience for a similar flight on a competing airline elsewhere in the Middle East and with more flight option. Not to mention the ability to earn points in a scheme that might be useful to you, such as Qatar Airways in oneworld, or Emirates with their own Skywards program. That said, I am glad to have tried them at this bargain basement price, and if you can secure a good price that is less than their competitors, you'll be in for a good experience too, just not the best in the business. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check out one of my previous videos, how about the luxurious trip aboard Air France La Première from Paris. Thanks very much. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment and click the notification bell. I'll see you next time where I'll be reviewing Singapore Airlines short haul business class from Manila in the Philippines to Singapore Changi Airport. Catch you then. Bye bye.